Okay, let's start with, so if you have any issues, just WhatsApp or ano kaya? Ha? Password? Kaya ko yung password. Kaya. Wait. Kaya ko. Password. Paano hindi gumagana yung code? Nakapasok naman kayo, di ba?
Ayan na.
Oo, may nakalagay na recording kasi may mga classmates kayo na wala. Dalawa. May mga problema yata sila sa internet nila. So let's see, probably i-record natin para later. Tingnan natin kung paano i-access. Padala ko by WeTransfer yung file. Panoorin nila, di ba? Sayang. So today, we'll be discussing yung listening na section ng IELTS. So let's start. Teka, screen share. Okay. So everybody were able to attend naman yung session yung first session natin, right? Or may mga bagong estudyante ngayon? Unmute nyo lang yung sarili nyo if may mga bagong estudyante ba ngayon? Okay, anyway, let's proceed sa listening. So the listening, okay, wait. Okay. The listening test is very challenging for a variety of reasons. Isang beses nyo lang maririnig yung recording. Tapos, as the exam progresses, sa simula, tapos pag tuloy-tuloy na, mas mahirap na yung mga questions. Mas mahihirapan na kayo. So section 1, you'll find it easy. Let's say first 5 questions in the listening section, you'll find it very easy. Then after that, let's say after number 10, 10 onwards, nagiging mas mahirap na talaga siya. And at the same time, very challenging ang listening test. Iba't iba klase yung mga questions that you would encounter. So, this section, we'll go through the different kinds or types of listening questions para mas ready kayo, di ba? At the same time, mahirap siya or very challenging kasi kailangan very focused kayo while listening and while answering. So, teka, bagalan ko na lang. So, tapos, ito yung mahirap sa atin. Nahihirapan tayo sometimes mag-predict ng answers. Paano to? Usually, dapat, paano nyo, let's wait. So, how to be able to predict answers? First, you have to look at the questions. Anyway, during the listening exam, at least meron kayong 30 seconds to look at the questions first before you will hear the recording. So when you look at the questions, you will, let's say the questions would ask for ano yung names, ano yung addresses. So naka-ready na dapat yung mga notes ninyo, yung pen and paper, para when the recording starts, alam niyo na kung ano yung mga papakinggan nyo. Say yung questions would ask for a name of a person, lahat ng names na maririnig nyo, isulat nyo na. Again, say if, for example, the questions, yung mga nakita nyong questions would ask for, say, measurements or addresses, isulat nyo na yung mga narinig nyo. Para later, cross out nyo na lang kung ano yung mga maling sagot, mga ganyan. So, note-taking, predicting answers, ganun yung mga dapat na alam nyo. Okay. Tapos, at the same time, challenging ang listening test kasi iba't ibang accents ang mapapakinggan. Pero karamihan, British accent siya. Majority ng exam, you will hear accents from London. Tapos little lang from Australia or American English. Kaya sometimes, di ba, lagi ko sinasabi sa inyo, makinig kayo ng video, ganun. So, mga class, paki-mute na lang yung sarili nyo kung maingay konti yung background niyo. Right? Pero anytime, if you want to ask a question, just unmute yourselves and directly na, ma'am, just ask a question, okay? You can disturb anytime naman. So ano yung mga listening accents na mapapakinggan nyo? You would hear speakers from the United Kingdom. So that's where London is. Australia, New Zealand, and North America. North America, kasama ang Canada and USA. So while these countries are known for a wide variety of accents, yung mga accents don't focus only sa mga neutral accents. For example, if it's an accent from the UK, ang makapakinggan yung accent would be yung mga nagsasalita from London. Hindi kayo makakarinig ng mga accent na mga from the other islands in the UK na from Cockney, Scouser, Scottish, 'di ba? Iba yung brogue or yung sound ng mga Scottish accent. Pag nanood kayo ng Braveheart, si Mel Gibson, iba yung mga lumang, iba yung accent nila. Welsh accent, Irish accent, mahirap rin intindihin, di ba? So, hindi kayo makakarinig ng ganun na accent sa IELTS exam. So, neutral, meaning yung mga sa city accent. So, London accent siya. So, if it's a North American accent naman, ang mapapakinggan yung accent would be accents from California or from New York. Kasi 'di ba may mga iba't ibang accent yung mga Americans. Say mga Texan accent, Bostonian accent, Newfoundland accent. Iba yung mga mahirap pakinggan, 'di ba? Iba yung accent ng mga, let's say, Texas. Yung mga Texans, iba. Pero pag yung mga accent ng mga taga California, sa San Francisco, mas madaling pakinggan. Yung mga nagsasalita sa New York, mas madaling pakinggan sa atin. Diba? Kasi parang pag nanonood tayo ng mga movies, let's say, Transformers, or yung mga Marvel movies, yun yung mga normal na accent. Pag Australia naman, again, yung mga accent na papakinggan nyo is accents from Melbourne or Sydney. Ganyan. Pati pag New Zealand, hindi kayo makakarinig ng mga Tasmania o yung mga buok sa New Zealand. So, mga talagang pang city accents lang. Pero take note, talagang karamihan UK accent. So what is a neutral accent? Basically, ito yung accent associated with just one or two cities or regions. Kaya sabi ko kanina, pag UK, say, ang mapapakinggan nyo yung common accent sa London. Pag America, common accent ng mga big cities sila. So say yung mga cities, San Francisco, mga ganyan. Or LA, or New York. Pag Canada, accent sa Vancouver. Usually, mga ganun. So, karamihan sa IELTS, it would be UK English. So, sometimes sinasabi ko na dapat makinig kayo sa BBC Radio. Maganda na punta kayo sa BBC Radio or say ito, ipakinggan nyo si Dame Judi Dench. Say, research sa YouTube. Teka.
Brought them together, and now Dame Judi Dench and one of her Skyfall co-stars, Ben Whishaw, are reunited on stage in a new work by the screenwriter of the latest 007 film, the play Peter and Alice, which opens next week. It's the story of a real-life encounter between Alice Liddell, who inspired the character of Alice in Wonderland, and Peter Llewellyn Davis, the boy behind Peter Pan. And Alice, but in a
Try
quite different
listening to
age and in
Dane,
reality.
Judy
They
Dench.
did. They met, I presume by mistake, really, at Charles Bumpus's bookshop in 1932, where she was opening, Alice Liddell Hargreaves was opening an exhibition about Alice in Wonderland. And that's where they met. So, and this, as John Logan has taken, this, you know, this actual meeting that really happened, and he has written what might well have happened between them.
Now,
What's your name?
Peter David.
All of it.
Peter Llewellyn David.
Peter Pan.
Okay. Aside from Dane, Judy Dench, halimbawa ng mga other famous na, let's say, pakinggan nyo si... Teka. Bakit di siya nagpamaliit? Say, pwede nating pakinggan, research nyo si Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch is sa Doctor Strange. Teka, YouTube. So, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Now, Benedict, every time you're on the show,
Teka. How to screen share again? Share screen. Yan. So, try listening to Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay. I heard from your other classmates na ay, hindi clear ang sounds from your side, right? Probably it's related sa internet. So, anyway, I suggest na lang na paano tayo mag-e-exam ng listening. Ay. Okay. I suggest na you go through later to the PowerPoint and click on the links na na-suggest ko, lalo na sa mga sounds. So, kailangan nyo makinig kay Benedict Cumberbatch, kay, let's say, if it's an Australian accent, try listening to Hugh Jackman. Di ba yung sa Wolverine? Australian accent siya. Sino pa ba? Kylie Minogue, Nicole Kidman, yung mga yan. Pero, si Mr. Bean hindi pala nagsasalita, no? So, wala. Wag yun. What else? Earlier, kailangan nyo makinig sa, ito yung mga websites. Stitcher. You can see the screen, right? So, Stitcher, para siyang podcast na style. You can download an app also on your telephones. And you can listen to stories. So, just browse through it and check. May mga shows. Makinig kayo, mga ganyan. Check nyo. It's free naman. So, try to follow the shows here. BBC Sounds. It's also good to listen to it once in a while. Kasi the majority would be UK English. So, there will be different kinds of radio. Ayan. So, try to listen to them or follow some podcasts. Another thing na I highly recommend and marami pa kayong matututunan would be TED Talks. So, TED.com. Marami. I think you can even search here na learning English. Halimbawa sa search TED Talks. Learning English, makahanap kayo ng mga talks about learning English. Ayan, 4 reasons to learn the words. Don't insist on English. Pero maganda siya. Or regarding grammar. Meron yan dito sa TED Talks eh. Grammar. Ayan. How to use a semicolon. So, at least while nakikinig kayo, spelling, at the same time, na-improve nyo rin yung may mga tips rin sa grammar sa TED Talks. So, what else? Kung nagpre-prepare kayo for an interview, meron dito rin may magandang TED Talks rin dito. So, just watch them. Entertaining siya. Say, 20 minutes per day, or pili kayo ng 10 minutes, diba? Or habang naghuhugas ng plato, or habang naglalaba, or habang naliligo, yan ang mga pinapakinggan nyo dapat. Make sure na kung nakatenga kayo, okay lang, free naman yung ears niyo, try to listen to something. So, download also Google Podcast. May app rin yan sa App Store, saka sa Google Play, or also dito sa laptop. So, Google Podcast, and you could subscribe to, let's say, to BBC News, BBC World Service, marami. Or mga kwento, mga ganyan. Or yung mga gardening. Kunwari, makinig kayo sa mga topics na interested kayo. At least doon talaga makikinig kayo, di ba? Mga ganyan. Or yung mga pangkabuhayan, mga showcase na, yan ang mga pakinggan nyo para in English. So, download Google Podcast. What else? Then, there's this video garden anywhere in the world. Anyway, the good thing about this is, let's say, let's make it small. See? Anywhere in the world, pindot lang kayo. Ano ba to? O yan. Pindot kayo. Gusto nyo makinig ng radyo sa, saan ba to? Zimbabwe.
I'm out of here at 6 o'clock. Yvonne Tuvachke is with you from 6 o'clock until 9, and she'll bring you the gospel.
Pero kung gusto niyo makinig sa, say, sa isang radio station sa America, let's go to UK. Saan ba ang UK dito? So, nandito ang UAE. Nandito siguro, no? Dito ba? Ay, Tripoli. Saan kaya? Ano UK? Tingin ko talaga sa Yogi. Somewhere dyan ang Europe, diba? Diba?
Team Marquetos.
Italy na ba to? Basta hanapin nyo na lang UK dyan. Sa globe. Diba? Ito yung magandang kwan. Nahanap ko kwan. Matino siya, diba? Anyway, kung sa mga anak ninyo rin, maganda rin to. You can listen to any radio station around the world. Just click. Hanapin nyo lang, paliitin nyo. Papunta na lang kayo sa Pilipinas. Pero anyway, suggest makinig kayo sa English, okay? There. Click tayong Philippines. And you can go to the radio station of your if it's registered. Pero so, yan yung mga listening stuff. Let's go back to my PowerPoint. Where is it? Paano tayo? Hirap na ito ah. So, meron rin isang website, International Dialects of English Archive. Wait, let's go to this website muna pala. Ito. So, It's the same parang sa radio station, pero ito may mga nakasave na mga dialogue. So dito naman, itong yung link na nilagay ko, ito may nagsasalita na taga North London na female, white, master's degree holder. I think she lived in Scotland for 4 years. So it's good to say, I hope you can hear this. I hope.
This recording, England 72, is copyright the International Dialects of English Archive. Karma Gets a Cure is copyright Douglas N. Honoroff, Jill McCullough, and Barbara Somerville.
Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who'd been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory, so she was very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near the Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning, she felt stressed.
Can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. So,
A bowl of porridge, checked herself in the mirror and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put on a plain yellow dress and a fleece jacket, picked up her kit and headed for work. When she got there was a woman with a goose waiting for her. The woman gave Sarah an official letter from the vet. The letter implied that the animal could be suffering from a rare form of foot and mouth disease, which was surprising because normally you would only expect to see it in a dog or a goat. Sarah was sentimental, so this made her feel sorry for the beautiful bird. Before long, that itchy goose began to strut around.
Ayan. So I hope it was clear for you guys. Naintindihan niyo kung ano sinasabi niya. But then anyway, it takes time. If in case you can't understand what she's saying, I know in the beginning, there would be words na talagang hindi nyo magigets. Pero in time, once you get to practice, you incorporate it sa inyong life, ang pakikinig ng UP English, magiging okay siya. So let's wait, stop. So yun, another. Okay. Australian English, as mentioned earlier, you would hear accents from Sydney or Melbourne kasi yun naman yung dalawang main cities ng Australia. Sydney yung pang-probinsyang accent yung maririnig nyo. Siguro di pa nga masyado sa Brisbane. So try looking for interviews made on Hugh Jackman or Margot Robbie. Sino pa ba? May matabang artista na nakakatawa. Si Robin? Robin ba yun? Na Australian rin. Nasa Pitch Perfect. Pakinggan niyo yung accent niya. She's Australian. Something. Basta sa Pitch Perfect yung matabang artista na komedyante. Yun, Australian siya. So try listening to her. Okay rin. So, pag North American, again, as mentioned earlier, say cities from California, so LA, San Francisco, Sacramento, New York naman, pag sa East, ganyan. Pag Canadian, Toronto or Vancouver. Hindi yung mga masyadong, di ba pag Canadian accent, sometimes may mga accent na makakapal kasi more on ma-French sila. So may kakaibang accent din sila. Pero sa IELTS exam, mas geared towards na a bit neutral talaga siya. Okay. So, huwag kayo mag-alala, hindi kayo makakarinig masyado ng Kiwi accent. Hopefully you won't. Pero, yeah, don't worry. Kaya masyado, di ba, pag sa Christchurch, mga ganyan, magmasyado. Pero, pag minalas, baka meron. Pero, kasi malapit lang naman ng New Zealand with Australia, so probably the accent would be a bit the same. So, walang problema yan. Anyway, when you watch a lot of movies, American movies, kasi ang dami na ring artista, di ba, na may artista na galing Australia na nasa American movies or UK na mga artists na nasa American movies. So, let's say sa Marvel movies, yung mga, ano na yun? Nandun si Doctor Strange. UK siya, di ba? English actor siya. So, okay na kayo sa English accent. Ayan yan. Okay na rin kayo sa American. Okay tayo sa American accent. Wala tayong problema doon. I think with the UK accent, okay rin tayo kasi we've been working sa UAE or sa Qatar, and majority ng mga colleagues natin are from the UK. And also some are Canadians, 'di ba? At least yung mga Indians, if we have Indian colleagues, some of their accent naman kasi British accent naman sila. Kasi sa India, more on the British curriculum naman sila or na-colonize sila ng British. So okay rin lang, 'di ba? So as earlier mentioned, dominant ang British English sa IELTS. So focus on that. Okay, ulit natin. And anyway, we've discussed this earlier. Ang listening test, it's approximately 30 minutes. And you have 10 minutes transfer time. That's for the paper base. Yung may paper, tapos sasagot kayo. Pero computer base, dire-diretso na yan. Wala nang transfer time. So you listen to the recording and type your answers immediately. So it's 40 minutes for everything. Pero at least, even for the paper base naman, you can write your answers na, di ba? So it's 40 items. First set of questions would be the ECS. And again, as you go further throughout the test, it would become more challenging. So again, what are the types of questions? Multiple choice, matching plan or map or diagram labeling, form and note completion, table completion, flowchart completion, summary completion, sentence completion, and short answer questions. So, what does the answer sheet look like? Okay. So, the answer sheet looks like, wait, guys, where is it? Like this. I'm not sure how the answer sheet looks like in the computer-generated exam. Hindi ko pa pala siya na-Google. Pero anyway, it's the same, da? Baka meron lang kayong i-click doon. So you'll be asked to shade these parts, yung rectangular parts. So write your full name, probably based on your passport or your Emirates ID or on the ICAMA. Test date. So shade in these boxes. Month and year. You would see this isn't updated, but it's the same format. It never changed naman. And let's see also kung may exams pa this May, di ba? I think mga June. Baka may mga nag-register ng May for IELTS, pero na-move yata. Some said na merong exams ngayong May, or let's say end of May, May 30. Pero we don't know actually. With mga second wave of infections, we really don't know. So, anyway, it's a good thing for you guys kasi you can prepare more. Diba? I hope you have more time to prepare. So, don't fill in this part. And dito kayo sasagot. Preferably in pencil. Kasi mag-e-erase kayo. Yan. And always when answering, listen to the directions. Yun ang importante. Okay, let's go back sa ating PowerPoint. Yan. Ang PowerPoint ko. Okay. Ayan. After you listen to the passage, you will have 10 minutes to transfer the answers from the question booklet to your answer sheet. So, makikita nyo yung recording. So, yung exam magsisimula ng, let's say, 30 seconds. Yan. Eh, may testing muna. Titignan, papatest nila kung gumagana ba yung headset. Tapos pag okay na, may sample questions. Para lang kan. Tapos pag okay na, may mga sample questions, 30 seconds, you'll be given 30 seconds, kasi 20 to 30 seconds to look at the first section, yung questions sa first section. So pag sino yung maingay? Unmute na lang. Ay, pa-mute please. Classmate yung maingay. Teka lang, unmute ko na lang. Participants. Okay. Okay. So may mga... So pagtingin nyo ng... Titignan nyo yung mga questions. So doon nyo malalaman kung ano yung mga i-predict nyo na, di ba? Para pag nakinig na kayo, alam nyo na kung ano yung mga sagot na papakinggan ninyo. Usually, gano'n lang naman yung trick sa listening exam. Na halimbawa, pag nabasa nyo sa questions, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, halimbawa, nabasa nyo sa questions, yung mga questions nag-a-ask for address, nag-a-ask for amount of money, nag-a-ask for size. So, yung pag nakinig na kayo ng size, i-jot down nyo na, isulat nyo na sa notes nyo. Pag narinig na kayong pangalan, ilagay nyo na yung spelling. Ganon. Para kung may mga tanong na, pagbalik nyo na naman, alam nyo na yung mga sagot. So, ganun lang sa listening exam. So, take note. Pag wrong spelling, it's incorrect. As always, so kailangan okay tayo sa spelling. Hopefully, they're just a pretty basic spelling naman. So, hopefully it would be okay. So, don't worry. Ayan. There are 4 sections sa listening test. So, may passage 1, may passage 2, may passage 3, may passage 4. So, ang first section sa listening test, usually, it's a conversation between 2 people. So, paano yan? So, may tao na humihingi ng information, usually ganon. So, either may taong bumibili ng ticket for, let's say, manunood siya sa cinema, or nagpi-play siya ng order sa telephone, or nagko-confirm siya ng reservation niya for a restaurant. So, usually ganon, di ba? That's what we hear during, it's everyday situation, everyday life, di ba? Daily life. So, yun yung mga mapapakinggan nyo. But in majority, it would be in British accent. Oh, what's that? Okay. Sorry. So, passage 2. Passage 2 naman, it would be a monologue. So, it would be one person say, usually dito yung mga question types na ma-encounter nyo would be yung map or diagram type. Kasi it's somebody giving directions or somebody describing a place or an event. Kaya it's yun lang. Isang speaker lang. So, madali-dali siya. Pero ang mahirap lang dito would be yung lalo na pag directions, di ba? Or diagram. Yung sasabihin niya, left, right, at the roundabout, across, towards, yung mga ganun. So, dapat okay kayo sa mga prepositions nyo, sa mga guide words. Kailangan nyong ma-practice yun. So, passage 3, it's challenging kasi mas marami ng tao na mas marami kayong mapapakinggan. You would hear more people speaking. So, probably it would be like, say, a professor giving a feedback on an assignment, It's tougher kasi the vocabulary is also tougher. And it's much more challenging. And yeah, there would be more speakers involved. So that's why it's more challenging. Again, it's passage 4. Again, wait, it's okay. How do you... The score is 1 point. 1 question, 1 point. So, no need for that. Ayan. So what are the directions for IELTS listening questions? Attention to detail is very important on the IELTS listening exam. So, kailangan na, if you don't closely pay to the directions, you would get a 0 score or a minus score. Remember, sometimes sasabihin nila, naalala niyo yung mga directions na you have to write one word lang, or multiple choice, so letter A lang, letter B, mga ganyan lang. So, for example, make sure you write the correct type of answer on your final answer sheet. For example, if it's a multiple choice question, you have to write A, B, or C. And clearly, if it's A, B, or C, all caps, better. Wag nang maliit. Wag lowercase. Better na i-uppercase nyo, lalo na pag sa multiple choice question. Pero pag mga sentence completion, mga ganyan, wag naman puro uppercase ang sagot. 'Di ba? Kasi sometimes titignan nila kung alam mo rin ba ang kina-capital letter mo rin ba ang a certain word, 'di ba, or not. So sometimes students mistakenly write the words or numbers that come after the letter on their answer sheet, and therefore they are graded, or therefore the answer is considered incorrect. 'Di ba? Sometimes sigurista kayo, C, tapos lalagyan nyo pa yung sagot. Hindi na. Lalo na sa multiple choice, dapat yung A, B, C, D, or E. Yun lang. Huwag na kayo masyadong sigurista. So anyway, you would get 0 point. So again, yung mga directions. Naalala nyo yung mga lagi ko sinasabi. For example, more than 2 words and or a number. Diba? Copy. So if it's a more than 2 words and or a number, ano yung options? More than 2 words or a number. Option 1, nasagot. 2 words and a number. Hello, Jenny. 12. Pwedeng ganyan. Or, number 2 na option. 2 words lang. Hello, Jenny. Or, number lang. 3. 12. Pwede rin. Number 4. 12. Pwede rin 1 word. Hello, 12. Number 5. Hello, 12. Ano pa? Number 6. Hello, 12. Mga ganyan. So, yun yung mga options. Pag sinabing not more than pala, not more than, yan. Not more than 2 words and or a number. So, ganyan yung mga option na mga sagot nyo. Pag ganyan yung direction, instructions. Gets? Okay? Very important yan. Kasi, for example, not more than 2 words. Tapos naglagay kayo ng 3 words. Let's say 12. Mali to. This is considered mali. Even if this is a number in word form. It should be in number form. Kasi okay siya. Pero ito, it's in word form. So, it's 3 words na siya. So, this is considered wrong. Diba? So, take note of that. Okay. Ano yung listening strategy? Pag ko na nga to. Okay. First, you have to analyze the questions. You will be given time naman to read through the questions. So you have the time to analyze the questions. Yan yung talagang first na listening strategy. Then you have to predict the answers. So anyway, from the questions naman, you will know what kind of answers you are looking for. So if the question asks for an address, any address mentioned during the recording, you have to write it down. Diba? For example, if they're looking for an age or let's say anything, di ba? Kahit anong information, you have to write it down when you hear it during the recording. And then, track the questions and the speaker. Ang sa listening exam, magkakasunod yan eh. Pag na-miss mo na yung sagot sa first, kunwari, nakuha mo na yung sagot pala dun sa answer sa question number 2. Kasi di mo nakuha yung sagot sa question number 1. Sorry, na-miss mo na. Kasi magkakasunod yan. So let's say, nakuha mo na yung sagot sa number 4. Bakit hindi ko pa narinig yung sagot sa question number 2? Hindi ka kasi nagfo-focus. So kailangan mag-focus ka talaga kasi sunod-sunod yan. Yung sagot mo, magsa-start sa umpisa talaga. So if you miss the answer on question number 1, and you already got the answer on question number 2, unfortunately, sorry, wala na. Unless you took down notes and you can make a wise guess. Diba? Madali na lang yon. Kasi when you take down notes, tapos, okay, na-miss ko yung answer for number 1. Pero based on the question sa number 1, it asks for a name. May mga nasulat kang mga names. Di gawa ka na lang ng smart guess. Ganyan. Kaya importante ang note-taking sa listening section. And if you have gone through yung textbook nyo, yung main textbook nyo, again, uulitin ko, kailangan nyo talagang sagutan yung main textbook nyo kasi it will building blocks yan sa listening skills. Okay? Kasi 'di ba sa listening sa textbook ninyo, merong you would hear how numbers are pronounced, how letters are pronounced, mga ganyan. Pag letters naman, try listening on YouTube, paano nila i-pronounce ang alphabet UK style. Kasi sometimes, 'di ba? Halimbawa, sa letter Z, yung iba letter Z, yung iba Z. Yun rin ang mapapakinggan nyo sa listening exam. Or the number 0. Number 0, sometimes 0, not, may ganyan. Or O, sometimes, diba sa telephone number, pag may kausap kayo sa telephone, sometimes they pronounce 0 as 0918, mga ganyan. So, dapat alam nyo lang kung paano yung tamang. Tapos, kailangan rin na sometimes alam nyo rin yung mga alpha, yung, anong tawag doon? Sa way ng alpha, beta, Charlie, mga ganon. At least try to familiarize yourselves with it. And it's a good thing also. Kasi lalo na kung nasa English country kayo, and say you'll be working as a receptionist, it's good na alam nyo paano i-pronounce. Kasi sometimes, di ba, some people wouldn't even, you would be having a difficulty listening, or is it an A or an E? So sometimes, di ba, A, E. May mga tao ang A nila parang E ang pakinggan. So sasabihin mo A for alpha, not E, or E for elephant, mga ganyan. So dapat alam nyo rin yan. Or D or B. Sa atin sa Filipinos, it's P and F. Diba? So P for papa. Pero pag dito sa GCC, hindi nyo ginagamit na papa. Kasi sasabihin nila, ano? Baba? Ang ganun. So P for wag pig. Something. P for, ano kaya? Paper. Mga ganyan. So, ayan. Before each recording, IELTS will give you time, 30 to 40 seconds, to look at the questions in the next section. So some students use this time to check their answers from the previous section. Huwag niyong magagawin ito. Yung time na binigay sa'yo ng IELTS should be the time for you to look at the questions. Lalo na in between. Huwag niyong balikan yung mga previews. Kasi yun ang time nyo para alam nyo kung ano yung ipipredict nyong answers. So again, ano yung strategy? So the best approach to use for your 30 to 40 seconds is first, tignan nyo what type of question is this? How should you answer it? So look at the directions. Check nyo na naman kung sinabing one word, two words, and or a number para alam nyo kung ano yung mga ilan dapat yung mga sagot nyo. Tapos ano yung mga keywords in the questions. So write down, doon na kayo dapat, doon i-improve nyo yung note-taking skills ninyo. Madali ang listening actually. So, tracking is something you do while you listen to the recording, and it requires great focus and attention. So, we're still recording this, right? May nag-chat. Teka lang. Saan yung chat? Ito nababasa. Okay. So in other words, the speakers will provide the answer to question number 1 before you will hear the answer to question number 2. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. So once you already have your answer for question number 2, it means napag-iwanan na kayo. Hindi nyo napag-iwanan na kayo. So try to focus. So ito yung mga question types. So short answer. Remember to read the directions. You must follow the word or number requirements for short answer questions. So, ano yung sample ng short answer questions? Lang. So, no, hindi nag-respond. Teka lang, ang nangyari sa laptop ko. Teka lang, ay teka. Wait, we have a question. Anong link yun? Ma'am, can you share with us the link of that? Anong link yun? Jackie? Anong link yung kailangan mo? Sino yun? Yung may recording, ma'am. Oo. Anyway, yeah, I'll be sending you the links. Kasi I'll be sending you the link PowerPoint slide. So you can click on the links. Okay, wait. Ayaw. Ano nga? Okay. So, unmute ko na naman kayo, ha? I-mute ko na naman kayo lahat. Para hindi maingay. Okay. So, ito ang... Saan na siya? Kalang. So, this is the sample of... Okay. Ito ang sample ng short answer question. So if you will see, ayan, it's a section 2. Luisi, please. Sorry. Luisi. No, I have class. Can you get out of the room? Please. Okay. So, again, tignan niyo yung instructions. No more than 3 words and or a number. So again, ang option nyo would be, may sagot kayong 1 word, 2 words, or 3 words plus number, or pwedeng words lang, or pwedeng number lang. Ganon. Ang number 10, number 100, considered yan as one number. Hindi ibig sabihin na parang nilagay ng 100, so 3 numbers yun kasi 3 digits. So it's considered as one number, one set of answer yun. So let's listen to the recording. Hopefully you can hear it properly. Teka. So let me know if you can hear it. Sana mapakinggan nyo, no?
You will hear an extract from a talk given to a group who are going to stay in the UK.
Good evening and welcome to the British Council. My name is John Parker and I've been asked to talk to you briefly about certain aspects of life in the UK before you actually go there. So I'm going to talk first about the best ways of making social contacts there. Now, you might be wondering why it should be necessary. After all, we meet people all the time. But when you're living in a foreign country, it can be more difficult, not just because of the language, but because customs may be different. If you're going to work in the UK, you will probably be living in private accommodation, so it won't be quite so easy to meet people. But there are still things that you can do to help yourself. First of all, you can get involved in activities in your local community. Join a group of some kind. For example, you'll probably find that there are theatre groups who might be looking for actors, set designers and so on. Or if you play an instrument, you could join music groups in your area. Or if you like the idea of finding out about local history, there'll be a group for that too. These are just examples. And the best place to get information about things like this are either the town hall or the public library. Libraries in the UK perform quite a broad range of functions nowadays. They're not just confined to lending books, although that's their main role, of course.
Okay. I hope you were able to hear. Narinig niyo ba?
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
So, what 2 factors can make social contact in a foreign country difficult? Ano yung mga napakinggan nyo?
Language and
Customs. That's good. Which type of community group does the speaker give examples of?
Local community.
Local
Music
community.
and history group.
Okay.
Theater group. Music group.
Music and history group.
Okay.
The music.
Good. In which 2 places can information about community activities be found?
Library
Town
and
hall
public
and
library.
Okay, so this is the answer key. Ito yung transcript or tape script. Nasa link naman lahat yan later. Nasa link yan lahat later. So, study yung PowerPoint.
Ayan.
So, ito yung answers. So, pat yourself if you got the correct answers. So, it's easy, ah. Section 2 naman siya. So, it's a bit easy. Let's go to PowerPoint ko. Yan, another. So, multiple choice type of questions. I hope you can hear this. You can see this, I mean. Section 1. Nakikita nyo ba?
Yes.
Yes po.
Okay. So take time to read the questions before I will ask you to hear the recording, okay? So section 1, questions 9 and 10. Choose the correct letter, A, B, or C.
Type of insurance.
Type of insurance chosen. So, try to look for these words or pareho. Yung mga na-paraphrase naman kasi siya sa recording. So, kung makikinig kayo sa recording, ito yung mga keywords na kailangan nyo pakinggan para alam nyo kung ano sagot. Or, it's paraphrase. Number 10, customer wants goods to be delivered to port, home, or depot. So, okay, let's listen to the recording and try to answer it on your own. Saan ang recording natin? Yes.
Okay, right. Now, obviously, insurance is an important thing to consider, and our...
Class, pa-mute. Pa-mute nyo sarili nyo kasi, saan tayo? Ako na naman makikita yung unmute nyo. Unmute, mute all. Okay. Okay.
Okay, right. Now, obviously, insurance is an important thing to consider, and our companies are able to offer very good rates in a number of different all-inclusive packages.
Sorry, could you explain a bit more?
Yes, sorry. There's really 3 rates according to quality of insurance cover. There's the highest comprehensive cover, which is premium rate. Then there's standard rate, and then there's economy rate. That one will only cover the cost of the contents second hand.
Oh, I've been stung before with economy insurance, so I'll go for the highest.
Mm-hmm. And can I just check, would you want home delivery or to a local depot, or would you want to pick it up at the nearest port?
The port would be fine. I've got transport that end.
Fine. And will you be paying by credit card?
Can I pay by cheque?
Okay, this is quite easy. As you would see, type of insurance chosen. What was the type of insurance chosen, class? Hindi ko kayo marinig. Hindi mo kayo nakamute. Weird. Nasaan kayo? Ayan. What was the type of insurance chosen?
Economy.
Premium.
The
highest. Premium.
Sabi niya the highest. And anyway, sa lahat naman ng mga the highest would be yung premium.
Premium.
It didn't exactly say
Premium.
Yeah. So take note of paraphrase. Take note of paraphrase answers, no? Okay, number 10. Customer wants goods delivered to A, port, B, home, or C,
Port.
port.
A.
Got all the correct answers.
Port.
TypeScript or transcript, tape script, I mean. So it's C and A. So, good, di ba? Madali siya. Okay, next. Ang next natin would be form completion. So let's go through a sample of a form completion. Nakantok, no? Okay. Ito ang form completion. Section 1 siya, so madali siya. So class, let's go through the questions, type of questions. So alam nyo kung ano yung answers na dapat nyong i-predict. So again, instructions. No more than 3 words and or a number. So ang sagot nyo would be 3 words and a number. Pwedeng 2 words and a number. Pwedeng 1 word and a number. Pwedeng words lang. Pwedeng number lang. Okay? Ganyan yung mga options. For example, ayan, my country of destination, Kenya. To look for, during the recording, ayan, fill in the blank siya kasi form completion. So you have to listen to last name ni Jacob. Address, yan. Postcode. Kung postcode, so it's a combination of letters and numbers, diba? Size of container. So ito, sometimes width, height, and length. Sometimes hindi nila sasabihin na width lang, length yan. Sasabihin nila how thick, how tall. Kung height, sasabihin nila during the recording how tall. Kung width, gaano kataba siguro, how thick it is, ganyan. Length, how long. Ganyan yung mga description nila. Contents ng box. Tayo nyo yan. Value, amount. Dapat during the recording, take note of any amount. Tapos i-cross out nyo. Kasi meron yung mga words na, the total is, but for this, plus the total amount is like this.
Parehas lang yung ginawa mo.
So let's listen to the recording so you can answer this.
Ano yung parang may mint na umaan?
Okay, recording tayo.
You will hear a telephone conversation between a customer and an agent at a company which ships large boxes overseas.
Good morning. Packham's shipping agents. Can I help you?
Oh, yes. I'm ringing to make inquiries about sending a large box, a container, back home to Kenya from the UK.
Yes, of course. Would you like me to try and find some quotations for you?
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I need a few details from you.
Fine.
Can I take your name?
It's Jacob Mkere.
Can you spell your surname, please?
Yes, it's Mkere.
Is that M for mother?
Yes.
Thank you. And you say that you will be sending the box to Kenya?
That's right.
And where would you like the box picked up from?
From college, if possible.
Yes, of course. I'll take down the address now.
It's Westall College.
Is that Westall?
Yes, college.
Westall College. And where's that?
It's Downlands Road in Bristol.
Oh, yes, I know it. And the postcode?
It's BS8 9PU.
Right. And I need to know the size.
Yes, I've measured it carefully and it's 1.5 metres long.
Right.
0.75 metres wide.
Okay.
And it's 0.5 metres high or deep.
Great. So I'll calculate the volume in a moment and get some quotes for that. But first, can you tell me, very generally, what will be in the box?
Yes, there's mostly clothes.
Okay.
And there's some books.
Okay, good. Anything else?
Yes, there's also some toys.
Okay, and what is the total value, do you think, of the contents?
Well, the main costs are the clothes and the books. They'll be about £1,500. But then the toys are about another 200. So I'd put down £1,700.
Okay. The recording's finished. So let's try to get the answer. Okay. Name, number 1. It's Mkere.
M-E-A-M.
Yeah, so it's Mama, Kilo, Echo, Romeo, and Echo.
Echo.
Right? Number
Westall.
2.
Westall College.
Westall. Walang H yung West Hall. Sometimes ako rin, yung una kong pagkakamali, kasi sometimes, di ba, automatic, you would spell it as West Hall. So you just immediately, so it's West Hall. Okay? Number 3, it's BS8 9PU. Regardless, you can make it's one set or it's separate, it's okay. If you want to research kung ano yung British postcode, ano yung kanila, pero it's okay. Di ba? Kaso ito magkahiwalay, di ba yung sagot? Kung sinulat nyo naman as just one unit or one set, it's also okay. Number 4, ito yung sagot. 0.75. Okay? Number 5, probably some of you do not know not ang sinabi niya kasi. Not means 0. It's 0.5. Di ba meron doon, may sinabi siya, not point something. Ito ba sa number 4, number 5? Basta may nag-not. So that means 0, okay?
0.5 the height.
Remember ha, di ba yung height, hindi niya sasabihin as height. Sinasabi nila, deep, mga ganun. Iba yung words na ginagamit nila. 6 and 7, ganun. Kaya importante na, isa sa mga skills niyo would be paraphrasing skills. Importante yan. And again, kaya lagi ko sinasabi, sagutan niyo yung Cambridge textbook na binigay ko sa inyo kasi it would build on your skills. Paraphrasing, mga ganyan lahat. Okay, in number 6 and 7, in either order, books or some books, pwede. Some toys or toys. Number 8, 1,700 pounds. Pwede nyo ring ilagay yung pound sign kung gusto nyo. It's okay. Pero anyway, nasa answer sheet naman na kasi nakalagay na dun yung, di ba, dito nakalagay na yung pound sign. So, no need ilagay sa answer sheet tong pound sign. Ganun. Okay? Okay, next type of question. Sentence completion. So, tignan natin kung ano yung sample ng sentence completion. So this is a very simple, pero mas mahirap siya because it's section 3. So you need to complete yung sentence based on the recording. And again, take note, no more than 2 words. So 1 or 2 words ang sagot niyo. 1 word or 2 words lang. And again, kailangan correct spelling. Yan yung importante. So see, studying with the Open University demanded a great deal of what? Yan yung, hanapin niyo yung sagot for that. Studying and working at the same time, improve Rachel's, anong skills ang na-improve sa kanya? So look for that in the recording. Number 29, it was helpful that the course was structured in what way, yeah? So she enjoyed meeting other students at saan? So it's a where. So try or see. So let's listen to the recording since you had time looking at the questions. Or kung gusto niyo, pag nilay-nilayan niyo muna, use anyway 20 seconds to 30 seconds ang ibibigay sa inyo to look at the questions before the recording will start. As always, huwag kayong bumalik sa dati. Use your time to look at the questions, okay? So these are the questions. Let's start with the recording. Teka, ano si recording ko?
The other thing I wanted to ask you was, did you find it hard studying with the Open University?
You mean because you're studying on your own most of the time?
Mm.
Well, it took me a while to get used to it. I found I needed to maintain a high level of motivation because it's so different from school. There's no one saying, "Why haven't you written your assignment yet?" and that sort of thing.
Oh, dear.
You'll learn it, Paul. Another thing was that I got very good at time management because I had to fit time for studying round a full-time job.
Well, I'm hoping to change to working part-time, so that'll help.
What makes it easier is that the degree is made up of modules, so you can take time off between them if you need to. It isn't like a traditional 3 or 4 year course where you've got to do the whole thing of it in one go.
Oh, that's good, because I'd like to spend 6 months travelling next year.
Huh, it's all right for some. Then, even though you're mostly studying at home, remember you've got tutors to help you, and from time to time there are summer schools. They usually last a week. They're great because you meet all the other people struggling with the same things as you.
Oh.
I've made some really good friends that way.
Sounds good. So how do I apply?
Na-miss ko yung sagot sa number 30. Okay. Number 27. Studying with the Open University demanded a great deal of... Teka. What's the answer?
No idea. No idea.
Motivation. Actually, nami-miss nyo kasi biglaan, di ba?
Oh.
They demand a great deal of motivation or high motivation. Pwede yata. Kasi it says there, motivation lang. Pero yung
motivation.
kasi sinabi niya, di ba, high motivation. Okay, number 28. Madali lang to.
Time management.
Full-time job.
It's time management. 2 words.
Time management.
Okay, it was helpful that the course was structured in 29
Modules.
Yung number 30 na wala ako. Ano yung sagot nyo doon?
Summer schools, tutoring.
Sino natin? Ano sagot? Summer schools. Ayan.
Summer schools.
Okay. So yun lang. Madali siya, di ba? Pero mas mahirap siya kasi dalawang tao. And this is section 3. A bit more difficult. So let's go through another type of question. Another type of question is ito, plan or map diagram type of questions. Ito, may time na swerte kayo, madali. May time na sometimes mahirap. Pero itong sample ko, madali.
Kumain ka na doon. Ba't ka natutulog? Masakit ulo mo?
Ano na pag nagkakas?
May corona ka?
Okay, class. Okay, this is a sample type of a map or diagram labeling type of question. So it's section 2. So see, label the blank below. Ayan. Choose 5 answers from the box and write the correct letters A to I.
Ito ay.
So, A to I dapat. So, A, B, C, D. Yan lang ang sagot ninyo, please. So, ito, may papakita. So, yung librarian o sino man yung magpe-present, she would give a description of the town library. So, sasabihin niya, ito, number 11 is this, number 12 is this, number 30, number 40, number 15. So, yan. So, let's listen to so have a look and let's listen to the recording. Okay? Recording.
You'll hear the librarian of a new town library talking to a group of people who are visiting the library.
Okay, everyone. So, here we are at the entrance to the town library. My name is Anne, and I'm the chief librarian here, and you'll usually find me at the desk just by the main entrance here. So, I'd like to tell you a bit about the way the library is organised and what you'll find where. And you should all have a plan in front of you. Well, as you see, my desk is just on your right as you go in. And opposite this, the first room on your left has an excellent collection of reference books and is also a place where people can read or study peacefully. Just beyond the librarian's desk on the right is a room where we have up-to-date periodicals such as newspapers and magazines. And this room also has a photocopier, in case you want to copy any of the articles. If you carry straight on, you'll come into a large room, and this is the main library area. There is fiction in the shelves on the left, and non-fiction materials on your right, and on the shelves on the far wall, there is an excellent collection of books relating to local history. We're hoping to add a section on local tourist attractions too, later in the year. Through the far door in the library, just past the fiction shelves, is a seminar room, and that can be booked for meetings or talks. And next door to that is the children's library, which has a good collection of stories and picture books for the under 11s. Then there's a large room to the right of the library area. That's the multimedia collection, where you can borrow DVDs and so on. And we also have CD-ROMs you can borrow to use on your computer at home. It was originally the art collection, but that's been moved to another building. And that's about it. Oh, there's also the library office on the left of the librarian's desk. Okay. Now, does anyone have any questions? Yes, thank you, sir.
So I hope everybody was able to hear the recording or choppy.
Clear.
Okay. Number 11. What's the answer to number 11?
Reference book. H.
H? Natin sa
Reference books.
H. Okay. Number 12.
G.
Letter J.
Periodicals.
Multimedia. Multimedia.
Okay.
Multimedia.
Number 13.
Local history collection.
Local history.
Local history collections.
So letter D. Okay, number
D.
14.
Letter B.
Children's
book. Letter B.
Oh, yeah.
B as in boy. Okay, number 15.
Multimedia.
Multimedia. That's F. Tama kayo. H, G, D, E, and F. Madali siya, di ba? Pero may mahirap na mga sample questions na ganyan. Yan madali. Okay siya. Okay, another sample. So, tapos na tayo sa diagram. Ito naman, it's a matching question, matching type of question. So, ito yung sample.
Mahirap.
Madali. Madali yung mga samples. May mahirap eh. May na-encounter ako ng mga practice test na mahirap. May mga practice test na ito, a bit mahirap. Mas mahirap to konti. Kasi naka-paraphrase. Ito hindi niya sasabihin that he will definitely do the course or he will do it, ganon. Kasi naka-paraphrase. Pag napakinggan niyo yung recording later, kasi ito, this is a recording between Jack saka yung advisor niya or yung tutor niya. So, pag-uusapan nila yung mga course options. Ayan, sometimes sasabihin ng tutor, are you going to enroll sa media studies? Sasabihin ni Jack, tignan ko, maybe, o sige, gawin ko, or hindi na talaga, mga ganyan. Yun yung papakinggan ninyo. Yun yung mga, so halimbawa, number 21, gagawin ba, he will definitely do it ba? A? He may or may not do it ba? B? Or he won't do it? C. So ang sagot nyo lang would be A, B, or C. So for example, during the recording, na-discuss ang women and power na subject. Anong gagawin ni Jack? Ano yung na-mention sa recording? Will he enroll? Will he not enroll? Or he will think about it? Basically, that's it. He will enroll. He'll definitely do it. He will think about it. He may or may not do it. Or he won't enroll. He won't do it. Yun lang yung options. So have a look and I'll play the recording, okay? So recording tayo.
You will hear a communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for the next semester.
Come in. Oh, hello, Jack. Have a seat. Right. You said you wanted to see me to talk about your options next semester?
That's right. We have to decide by the end of next week. Really, I'd like to do all 5 options, but we have to choose 2, don't we?
Yes, but the choice depends on your major to some extent. You're majoring in communication studies, aren't you?
That's right.
So, for example, the media studies option will cover quite a lot of the same area you did in the core module on mass communications this semester, the development of the media through the last 2 centuries in relation to political and social issues.
Well, that was interesting, but I've decided I'd rather do something completely new. There's a women's studies option, isn't there?
Yes, women and power. Again, it has a historical focus. It aims to contextualize women's studies by looking at the legal and social situation in the 19th and early 20th centuries.
So it would be useful if I intended to specialize in women's studies, but I'm not sure I do, actually.
Well, it might still be useful to give you an idea of the issues involved. It's taught by Dr. Steed.
Oh, really? I'll sign up for that then. What about the option on culture and society?
That addresses the historical debate on the place of culture since the Industrial Revolution in Britain.
So, a historical focus again.
Do I get the message you're not so keen on history?
Well, it's just that we seem to have done quite a lot this semester. Anyway, I'll think about that one.
If you're interested in a course focusing on current issues, there's the option on identity and popular culture. That approaches the subject through things like contemporary film, adverts, soap operas, and so on.
That sounds interesting. Can you tell me who runs it?
Well, it's normally Dr. Stevens, but he's on sabbatical next semester, so I'm not sure who will be running it. It should be decided by next week, though.
Right. Well, I might wait until then to decide. And the last option is Introduction to Cultural Theory, isn't it? I'm quite interested in that too. I was talking to one of the second-year students, and she said it was really useful. It made a lot of things fall into place.
Yes, but in fact, in your major, you'll have covered a lot of that already in Communications 102, so that might be less useful than some of the others.
I'll forget about that one then.
Now, while you're here, we could also discuss how you're getting on with your core module assignment.
Okay. So number 21, media studies. Ano, letters A, B, or C?
A.
Check ko
Boy.
kasi iba rin yung
A,
sagot
B, C, C is answer.
C.
Everything.
Boy. C.
Boy. Oh, C?
Ay, mali.
Mali.
Mali ba?
Kasi may sinabi yung guy na I've decided to do something new.
Yes.
Meron doon. I've decided to do something new. So, sabi niya C.
Mali.
Teka, C.
A. Ay, mali.
A.
22A. 22.
23B.
Okay. Natin.
22A,
Oh my God.
23C.
Dalawa lang sagot. Tama ko.
Okay, number 22. Sa number 22, may sinabi siyang I'll sign up. Kaya letter A yun.
Yes, A.
Okay, confirm.
Oo. I'll sign up. Sabi niya ganun. So, kaya letter A siya. Pag papakinggan niyo ulit yung recording, makikita niyo, yung word na, I phrase pala na, I'll sign up. So, number 23, letter B siya. He may or may
Letter B. He may or may not do
diba
it.
napakinggan niyo, I'll think about it, sabi niya.
Yes.
So, he may or may not do it. Pag sinabi mo, I'll think about it. Ganun yun.
Okay.
Number
Letter
4, letter B siya, diba?
Letter B. He may or may not do it.
I will wait. Kasi next week pa malalaman ko sino magtuturo. So, he will wait. So, he may or may not do it. Kasi maghihintay muna siya, diba? So, number 25.
Letter C.
Letter C
He
siya.
won't do it.
Na ulit-ulit na, so sabi niya, forget about it, diba? Hindi niya sinabi, don't do it. Sabi niya, forget about it. So, again, mahirap siya kasi, diba, na-paraphrase yung mga sagot na kailangan nyo intindihin talaga. Reading comprehension ang importante dyan. Mga words na, may mga words na, I won't do it, forget about it, I'll wait on it. Yan yung mga mini-mini, mga ganyan. Diba? Okay. Last type of not chat. Ayan. Ano to? Okay. Next type of question is note completion. Pareho rin lang to eh. So, note completion. Again, parang sentence completion rin lang. Pero ito may mga charts. Madali to eh. So, ito yung type of note completion. Again, write no more than 3 words and or a number. Ayan. So, the National Arts Center is known for blank. Number 11. The complex consists of mga types of rooms. So, concert. So, number 12. Pakinggan nyo yan. Number 13. Anong nangyari nung 1960s? So, take note. Once na pakinggan nyo yung 1960s, nandun na yung sunod na yung sagot. So, number 14, you should wait for a date or a year. When was it open to the public? Yan ang pakikinggan nyo sa recording. Managed by who? So, who is managing the National Arts Centers? Number 16. Kailan siya nabuksan? Ay, ilang araw siya nabubuksan in a year. So, that's a number. Number of days. Then again, later, ito, venue, event, ticket price. Yan yung mga type of answers na dapat take note nyo during the recording. So, let's start. I'll open the recording now. Wait, guys.
Section 2. You will hear a radio broadcast called Focus on the Arts. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16 on page 4.
So you were already given the time a while ago. I gave you some time. So, okay. So usually ganyan yung sample. Baka magulat kayo biglang bakit nawala yung nagsasalita. May mga estudyante ako, ma'am, bakit biglang wala nagsasalita? Yun yung time nyo to look at the questions or type of questions. So you can predict the answers.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, and welcome to Focus on the Arts. I'm your host, Dave Green, and this is your very own local radio programme. Every Friday evening, we put the spotlight on different arts and culture facilities and look at the shows and events that are on offer in the coming week. And today the focus is on the National Arts Centre. Now, if you don't already know it yourself, I'm sure you've all heard of it. It's famous throughout the world as one of the major venues for classical music. But did you know that it's actually much more than just a place to hear concerts? The centre itself is a huge complex that caters for a great range of arts. Under a single roof it houses concert rooms, theatres, cinemas, art galleries and a wonderful public library, as well as service facilities including 3 restaurants and a bookshop. So, at any one time, the choice of entertainment there is simply enormous. So, how did they manage to build such a big arts complex right in the heart of the city? Well, the area was completely destroyed by bombs during the war in 1940. So the opportunity was taken to create a cultural centre that would be what they called the city's gift to the nation. Of course, it took a while for such a big project to get started, but it was planned in the 60s, built in the 70s, and eventually opened to the public in 1983. Ever since then, it has proved to be a great success. It's not privately owned, like many arts centres, but is still in public hands. It's run by the City Council. Both our National Symphony Orchestra and National Theatre Company were involved in the planning of the project, and they're now based there, giving regular performances every week. And as the centre is open 363 days of the year, there are plenty of performances to choose from.
Before you hear the rest of the broadcast, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20 on page 5.
Pag-aralan.
Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
So, to give you some idea of what's on, and to help you choose from the many possibilities, we've made a selection of the star attractions. If you're interested in classical music, then we recommend you go along to the National on either Monday or Tuesday evening at 7:30 for a spectacular production of the Magic Flute, probably the most popular of all Mozart's operas. It's in the Garden Hall, and tickets start at only £8, but you'll have to be early if you want to get them that cheap. And remember, it's only on for those 2 evenings. For those more interested in the cinema, you might like to see the new Canadian film, which is showing on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. in Cinema 2, and that's called 3 Lives. It's had fantastic reviews, and tickets cost just £4.50, which is a reduction on the usual price of £5.50. So, it's really good value, especially for such a great movie. But you can see the centre's main attraction at the weekend, because on Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m, they're showing a wonderful new exhibition that hasn't been seen anywhere else in Europe yet. It's a collection of Chinese art called Faces of China. That's in Gallery 1, and it has some really fascinating paintings and sculptures by leading artists from all over China. And the good news is that it's completely free, so don't miss it. So why not go along to the National Arts Centre next week for one or all of these great events? And you can always pick up a programme and check out all the other performances and exhibitions on offer, or coming soon, on almost every day of the year. Next week, we'll be looking at the new Museum of Science.
Okay.
That is the end of section 2.
So let's try to answer. Wala akong answer key for this. Pero hopefully you got the correct answers. Okay. Number 11, well known for
Classical music.
classical music. That's correct. Again, not more than 3 words and or always remember, please. Number 12.
Bookshop.
Bookshop.
Bookshop. 2
Bookshop.
restaurants and bookshop.
Bookshop.
Number 6, 1960s center was?
Planned.
Yes. Tapos, when was it open to the public?
1983.
1983.
Maalala ko na sabi. Managed by the
City Council.
Yes. And
Yeah, council.
diba? Yung number of days?
663.
363.
363. Okay.
Hindi ako nakahabol dyan.
Number 17.
Garden Hall.
Garden Hall.
Number 18.
3 lives.
Magkano yung kanya?
450.
4.50.
450. Remember, diba?
Yeah,
May
4.50.
panggulo doon eh. Take note of the panggulo. Una, sinabi niya it was 550. So, pag nag-note down kayo sa notes nyo, ilagay nyo, di ba? Una, nilalagay nyo yung 550. Tapos, may 450. Tapos, i-cross out nyo lang kasi later may mga panggulo. Take note lang ng mga panggulo. Number 20, Faces of
China.
Faces of China yata, di ba?
Yeah,
So,
Faces of China.
yun lang yung mga samples of listening. Yun lang yung mga types of questions. Let's have a 15-minute break and we'll have a listening exam after that. Thanks. I'll see you after 15 minutes.
Okay.
No timer. Ano ako timer? Bakit wala akong timer ngayon? Ito na lang. Okay, kain muna. 1, 5.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
See you in 15 minutes. Okay. Paano ba mag-pause ng recording? Saan ang recording dito? Oh my God. Sige. Tum na ako. Okay, class. Let's start with the listening exam. Preferably try to have a paper with you ready and number it 1 to 40 since wala kayong answer sheet na print out. Usually if it's a one-on-one class or a class in the classroom, I give out printouts. Pero since nandito wala, so prepare 1 to number 40 sa paper nyo and let's start with the exam. Okay?
Down your answers as you do the test. At the end of the test, we will go through all of the answers. There are 40 questions. So let's start the test. First, listen to the instructions.
You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a woman ordering some goods from a mail order company by telephone. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 8. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully to the first part of the conversation and answer questions 1 to 8.
Cosmic Home Delivery. My name is Gary. How may I help you today?
Hello, I'd like to place an order.
Certainly, madam. I'm afraid our computer system crashed earlier today. I'll have to take the details down on paper and then enter them later when it's been fixed. Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
So, can I take your name, please?
Yes, it's Alexandra Hornby.
Sorry, could you spell the surname for me? H...
Yes, then O-R-N-B-Y.
Oh, fine. And then your address.
That's number 28 Wood Road, which is in Ilford, ILFORD, and that's near Northchester. The postcode's NC1 2FR.
Thank you. And do you have an account with us?
I do. I've got the number here. 944-56781. Is that long enough?
8 digits? Yes, it is. Good. Now, what would you like to order today?
I want a coffee table. I think there's only the one type.
I expect so. Perhaps you can tell me the price. I can use that to check later, just in case there's more than one.
Yes, it's £39.99p.
Fine. Sorry about all these extra questions.
It's no problem at all.
Now, that size of order value does mean you're entitled to a free gift. Did you want to take up that option on this occasion?
Yes, I do. I've already got a calculator like the one on offer, but I do like the look of the handbag, so I'd like one of those, please.
Certainly. And can I just check, as an account holder, you may have been sent a voucher.
Oh, yes, for a discount. Let me see.
The reference number will probably start with the letter D.
Ah, it does, and it continues BR29.
Great. Now, how would you like your order delivered? There's standard service within a week, and then express, which comes within 2 days, or special, which means it arrives the same day.
Special would be ideal, but I know it's a bit expensive, so I'll make do with express, I think. Standard is very slow.
It is, to be honest.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at questions 9 and 10. Now listen and answer questions 9 and 10.
Well, that's your order completed. Could I just trouble you for another minute or so to ask you a couple of questions to help us improve our service as much as possible?
Yes.
Firstly, we do like to try and keep a record of how customers have heard of Cosmic Mail Order. How did you? Was it from our advertising campaign?
Oh, I think I would have remembered any advertisements, on TV, for example. I only read newspapers occasionally, so that would have passed me by. A friend of mine had been using you for years and encouraged me to give it a go, so I looked on the internet to find you to see what was available on the site.
That's great, thank you. The second thing is, we're thinking of introducing a number of promotional offers.
Oh, yes, I got a little brochure about them with my last order. I've got the list here.
So can I ask which ones appeal to you?
Well, let's see. There's quite a few things here that don't really apply to me, actually.
Oh, teka lang, class. Baga lang net. Wow. Bakit nga eh? Ah, ha, 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 ha. 6:11. Teka, I'll have to... Wait, class, ha? I'll have to restart. I'll have to... Saan pala internet? Bakit ang bagal? Teka. Teka lang. 6:11.
See list here.
So can I ask which ones appeal to you?
Well, let's see. There's quite a few things here that don't really apply to me, actually. For example, my mobile phone bills are so low that I hardly notice them. Likewise, they shut down the local cinema. I do enjoy a meal out, though, so that discount could be of interest. And I like to get away at weekends when I can, and some of the places you want to visit are expensive, so it'd be lovely if they became cheaper. As for planes, well, I haven't been abroad for a while now, and in any case, I prefer the train where possible.
Fine. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Not at all.
Section 2. You will hear a trainer giving a talk to a group of cyclists. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully to the first part of the talk and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see that so many of you made it, even on an evening as rainy as tonight. OK, now, whether you're new to cycling as a sport or are returning to it after some years' absence, I'll just go over a few basic points. Now, race preparation is a complex business, and there are many factors to consider. The first area of concern is mechanical. Now, this involves the machine itself, that is, your bike, and also, no less importantly, in fact, clothing. This will protect your body and aid your performance, providing you wear the right kit. The next area to concern yourselves with is the mental. This is you as a person. You can have the best bike in the world, but you won't get the most out of it if you don't have the right mindset. So, tactics are important to consider. Another factor which is essential to a good performance is determination. You need to feel this so that you can really push yourselves to your limits. To accompany this, you also need knowledge of your bike, yourself, physics, other riders, the course, and so on. Finally, strange though it may seem after all I've said so far, you need relaxation. If you can't switch off sometimes, you won't get to recharge your batteries. OK, and that takes us on to the physical side of race preparation. The first and perhaps most obvious aspect of this is training, and we'll come to some of the details of that in a minute. Another important aspect to pay attention to is diet, and you'll soon find that if you don't eat well, you won't see yourselves performing as well as you might. Then there's also the question of style, and you'll need to learn to develop the most effective ways for each of you to deliver your performance. And the details of this depend on which kind of event you're competing in. And finally, you need to take body care into account. You need to stay healthy in order to be able to give of your best. Right, those are the basic ingredients of race preparation.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the talk and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now I'd like to turn your attention to some of the details of a good training regime and what you should and shouldn't do through the year. Let's consider various activities in turn. The first thing to think about is circuit training. This is an indoor series of gym exercises designed to work on all parts of your body. This starts as the racing season closes with the end of summer and continues right through the cold season and stops you going off the boil when you aren't competing. It's extremely beneficial, although I would stress you do need a qualified gym instructor to tell you how to do it properly. Next, weight training. This is also very good for cyclists, and it tops up the natural strength that cycling produces. Exercises need to be arranged as part of a carefully calculated routine, and this routine needs to be sensibly followed. It's a good idea for continuity to carry on using weights throughout the year, as you can lose strength just as quickly as you can gain it. Something simpler and requiring no equipment is
Wait, class.
something simpler and requiring no equipment is mobility work. While cycling has a great many benefits for the body, it doesn't work every part of it, and indeed keeps some parts locked in pretty much the same position. So exercises that involve twisting and turning and generally promoting flexibility are advisable before the start of each race throughout the summer season. Another important activity is pleasure riding. Perhaps this doesn't sound so important to you, but you don't race all year, and when you do race, it's pretty hard riding. So you can sometimes forget that cycling is actually basically a fun thing to do. So, when you hang up your racing bike at the end of the summer, get out another bike and go for some gentler, enjoyable rides during the winter. Weather permitting, of course. And finally, running. This is, of course, another sport in its own right, and for this reason some cyclists are rather sniffy about it. However, it is good exercise and maintains aerobic fitness very effectively. But it is rather hard on the knees and in different ways from cycling, so you're best advised to keep your running to out of the racing season and wrap up well against the cold when you do go. So, now I'd like to say a little bit about...
Section 3. You will hear 3 students, Anna, Jane and Mark, planning a project about cinema on their Media Studies course. First, you have time to look at questions 21 to 23. Now listen to the first part of the conversation and answer questions 21 to 23.
So, Jane, Mark, we need to press on with the assignment.
Yes, we do, Anna.
And we need to begin by going to the best sources of information.
Right. Now, we're looking into how films get altered sometimes if they're not going to do very well.
We need to know quite detailed things. So, ordinary magazines, leisure interest ones, may lack the detail we're after. Specialist magazines, on the other hand, will probably be helpful.
I think that's true.
OK, so we'll root out some of those. And what else?
There ought to be stuff available online.
But we'll have to be selective.
Sure, not general cinema websites, you mean?
I think it'd be useful to go onto studio websites. Then we'd get pretty specific information.
Even if it might be a bit biased. Yes, OK. Anything else?
I think we also need to think about the point of consumption. So perhaps reviews would be good to look through.
OK, though we'll get most by looking at local reviews, I think.
I agree.
Good.
Now you have time to look at questions 24 and 25. Now listen to the next part of the conversation and answer questions 24 and 25.
So far, so good. Now we'll gather all that together. We can take one source each, and then...
I don't know.
About what, Jane?
I mean, OK, so we get all this stuff, probably loads of it, but do we know how to assess the usefulness of it? I know it'll all be factual and so true in that sense, but we need to know what it can really tell us.
Perhaps we should cross that bridge when we come to it. Mark?
Yes, though I think Jane's got a point. But the problem for me is the context we're working in. We've got the assignment instructions, and in a sense, it's all very straightforward. We know which parts are worth how many marks and so forth. But the focus seems to be heavily on the objective and quantitative side of things, whereas I would be hoping to be asked for more interpretative work, and there would have to be time to do that within the framework we've been given.
Well, again, I think we should just see how we go with it.
Now you have time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen to the final part of the conversation and answer questions 26 to 30.
Should we check that we're clear on...
Wait for it. Let's rewind.
And answer questions 26 to 30.
Should we check that we're clear on... just how films are altered?
Good idea. We'll list the various cures that filmmakers use when a film looks like it might be going to fail.
The first one is called Tweak Every Joke. Sometimes they change lots of the jokes after showing the first version to a test audience. Comedy is the only film genre with a reliable formula. The more the audience laugh, the more income the film gets.
And it's not very funny if your film makes a loss.
And the next one they call Change the Ending. Occasionally they completely change the way a film ends. It seems a bit strange maybe, but the problem is it's far from easy to know in advance what reaction you'll get from an audience. So if it turns out after all that the test audience doesn't like your ending, you've no choice but to do another one.
What's the third one?
That'd be fix the tone. If, for example, your film begins as a kind of gentle comedy, but then gets too serious or horror-like, audiences get confused.
So one thing that really matters is being consistent, you mean?
Yes, that's the logic. I think audiences don't want to have to switch track.
It's more complicated than people imagine, isn't it? Now, the next cure is a big one. Reshoot. This may seem drastic, but in some cases it's the only option available. It's very expensive, of course, but the film's backers will see this as protecting their investment.
Are there any others?
One more, and it's another big one, or at least has the potential to be a big one. It's shift the genre. And this is done when the test audience seem to only like one half of the equation, as it were. Maybe you made a musical, but they only like your comedy storyline, not the songs. So you do it all again without the song. The comedy storyline, not the songs. So you do it all again without the song. It could broaden the film's appeal, get a wider audience.
It's weird to think how much extra work has gone into some films, isn't it?
Section 4. You will hear a talk about the history of the Mediterranean Sea. First, you have time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen to the first part of the talk and answer questions 31 to 37.
Now, in looking at the history of anywhere, we need to accompany our discussion of the facts with some consideration of what facts mean, or which facts have meaning. But more of that later. Let's start with looking at one very important period of the history of the Mediterranean, the period of Roman influence. This was born out of the death of Alexander the Great. His grip on the area went, and what directly ensued was a period of intense conflict which focused on the eastern Mediterranean, as opponents sought to gain control of that area. Rome began to emerge from this as a potential dominant force, but obstacles such as a lack of overall planning, and in particular the ever-present menace of piracy, lay in the way of success. Gradually, the Romans improved the power of their ships and fighting equipment. They also formed a series of alliances, which effectively reduced the size and number of enemies, and a key measure they took was creating an office of government specifically charged with repairing their fleets. However many ships they and their enemies had, Rome from now on would have the highest proportion out, patrolling and fighting. There were, of course, no engines in ships in those days, and another aspect in the battle for supremacy was speed through human effort. Rivals built ships with ever-increasing numbers of oars, but what really mattered was the amount of human pulling strength attached to each one. And the Romans, benefiting from their great population of slaves, was able to have every oar pulling faster and harder than anyone else's. Eventually, Rome's dominance was more or less complete. Their possession of the sea became their enjoyment of the sea. Their name for the Mediterranean translates as our sea, and that's how they saw it. The shores were, of course, by now very well fortified, but now the Romans began also to demonstrate their comfort in power and put up a great many large houses, visible far out to sea. Wealthy merchants and retired generals lived in leisure in these temples to their own prosperity. The maritime security of the Mediterranean and the immense availability of trading destinations meant that all sorts of suppliers and craft producers clustered round any reachable section of the sea's edge. Some of these settlements were small, while others were large,
producing saltfish in Italy, for example, or the fish sauce that was sent to every corner of the empire from Spain. With dominance of the seaways established, the primary purpose of ships evolved from fighting other ships to transporting goods. Economics generated a drive to carry as much as possible on each trip, and as ships were built for carrying loads such as wine or stone exclusively, these types of specialized vessels led to greater cost-effectiveness. And so things continued for many years.
Now listen to the rest of the talk and answer questions 38 to 40.
However, I referred before to the question of needing to consider how to approach history. Assumptions about what history is are as varied as the historians who have made the Mediterranean the subject of their studies. 3 key historians have moulded in different ways our approaches to understanding the Mediterranean's past: Michel Ballard, Fernand Braudel and Nicholas Horden. The first of these, Ballard, felt strongly that an approach based on examining countries around the Mediterranean as if they shaped its history was inadequate. More was to be learned, he argued, by treating the Mediterranean as one of a number of seas, such as the Black Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, and thus integrated into trading routes that stretched from Madeira to Krakow. Our second historian, Fernand Braudel, took a rather different, though related, tack. He argued that the ways societies operate, right down to their individual members' actions, is subject to permanent conditions, such as whether they inhabit mountain, plain or sea. Features of the coastline and adjacency to the waters of the Mediterranean are thus the focus of his approach. And then we can add a third way of looking at history, or at least the history of the Mediterranean, and that's the one propounded by Nicholas Horden. His arguments are asserted quite strongly, not least because he sees a greater consistency across time than many other historians have allowed for. There are those who take ecological events, particularly catastrophes such as the volcanic destruction of Pompeii, to be the shapers of different sections of the Mediterranean's history. Horden says these are simply incidents, and that the major trends ride on through them. For him, while there may be cultural mutations and fashions in types of consumer goods, what matters is the system of trading goods that satisfy primary needs, such as grain, oil, metals and timber. So, for us, out of this complex of views, our job is to seek a synthesis and form a sophisticated approach, not just to the Mediterranean, but to any time or region in history.
Okay, how did he do? Let's look at the...
Okay. So usually after the exam, you're given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Kasi 30 minutes na nakinig kayo sa recording, so 10 minutes na ngayon. Do you want to hear the answers now, or do you want to transfer your answers to your answer sheet? Oh, wait. Participants. Okay. Let me know. You want to listen to the answers na? Or give time to muni-muni?
Here.
Huh?
Answer sheet.
Answer sheet.
Okay, let's go to the answer sheet na.
The answers to all of the questions, starting with section 1. And number 1 is Hornby. Remember, with the IELTS listening test, your spelling must be correct. Number 2, Ilford. Number 3, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. In the recording, it was 944-56781. Number 4 is coffee table. Number 5, £39.99, so you can write it down as 39.99. Number 6, handbag. Remember the spelling is like this, Handbag, even though she said handbag. There is a D there. Number 7, the voucher code was DBR29. You may have written BR29 because the man said the D and the woman finished the voucher code herself. Number 8 is express. Number 9, A and D. Number 10, D and E.
Class, take note. Dito dalawa yung sagot. Sometimes kung mali kayo ng isa, 0.5 yan. Kasi may mga grades sa listening na 8.5, 9.5, 7.5, 6.5. Diyan nila nakukuha yung mga 0.5 or 0.25, ganyan. So it doesn't mean naman kung mali ka na, kung A and E naman yung sagot mo sa number 9, automatically hindi ka naman na 0 na kagad. Kung nakuha mo naman yung isa. So it's half a point.
And section 2, number 11 is clothing, 12, determination, 13, relaxation, 14, diet, 15, body care, 16 was B, 17, C, throughout the year, so it's all year round, 18 was A,
Masakit to sa ulo actually.
19, B, and 20 was B as well. This was a tricky one. It was in the talk the man said out of the racing season, and he told his students to wrap up to protect themselves from the cold, so it was winter, B. Section 3, 21 is a specialist magazine, 22 studio websites, 23 is reviews or local reviews, you can say as well, 24A, 25B, 26 was income, 27 reactions, 28 consistent, 29 reshoot. You can spell it with or without the hyphen. You do not need the hyphen there. 30, very difficult spelling, genre.
So 21, 22, 23, in any order naman siya di ba? Walang problema. Kung yung sagot nyo na ilagay nyo sa 22 is specialist magazine or 23. Pero usually, ideally, it should be magkakasunod. Pero in any order naman siya kasi isang set lang naman yan ng question.
Section 4, 31 is Eastern, 32, piracy, number 33, repairing, number 34, slaves, a great population of slaves, number 35, large houses, or you can simply write houses, fish sauce is number 36, specialised is 37, you can also spell specialised Z-E-D on the end, that's the American English spelling, 38 is B, 39 C, and 40 F. So how does your score compare to the band scores? So well, if you count up your score, if you got between 9 and 15 marks, that's a band 4. For a band 5, you need between 16 and 22. Band 6, between 23 and 29. Band 7, 30 to 34. Band 8, 35 to 38. And if you got 39 or 40, you will get a band 9.
Okay. So don't worry. It's just the beginning anyway. If you feel that you
Band 5.
Diba?
Ako din, band 5.
Ilan kayo?
Band 5.
Band 5?
Band 5.
Band
Band
6.
Ang
5.
daming wrong eh.
Kasi mahirap siya. Mahirap yung...
Ang dami kong
Band
hindi
6
na-get.
sa akin.
Sino nakakuha?
22 lang.
Okay lang yan. Walang problema yan. Mahirap siya. Yung may mga ibang listening exams, mas madali dyan actually.
27.5 ako, ma'am.
Ipapadala ko sa inyo yung isang may ipa-forward ako by WhatsApp. Kasi may ibang parang gano'n rin para makita mo kung 0.5, 0.7, 0.5, 6.5, 5.5.
Pero sa exam, ma'am, ano ba yan? Meron bang pen and paper on the side?
Hindi. Pwede kayo mag-take note doon sa questionnaire. If it's a paper-based, meron kayong scrap paper and pwede kayo mag-sulat sa questionnaire. If it's a computer-based, meron rin kayo mga paper on the side to take down notes. Bibigyan kayo. So bring pencils with you, sharpeners. Yan. I'm not sure kung ano ang new normal ng exam after the COVID, kung ilang tao lang per student, ilang students, ilang examinees per room, mga ganyan, or baka hiwa-hiwalay na kayong room, we don't know later. Or baka later, mas gusto nila na online na kayo lahat, mag-exam. Let's see. Pero at the end, yung format naman, type of questions would be the same. So how they will give the test, let's see kung ano yung new normal later. Kasi wala pa namang bagong announcement ng setup. We'll never know. We'll see. So, I'll be discussing with you, naalala yun, nag-answer kayo ng assessment.
Yes,
Dapat ang score nyo is C1. Highest would be, basta C. Lowest is A. A is basic. A is mga pang 4, pang 5. Ay, 4. Band 4 yata, mga ganyan. It's okay. Nagsisimula pa naman kayo and with more time.
So, ano yun? Kasi first day ko.
First day mo?
Opo.
Sige. Kailangan mong sumugat ng assessment. It's a Cambridge assessment, pero hindi covered doon ng listening, writing, and reading. Parang gusto ko lang makakuha ng bird's eye view kung ano yung skill level nyo. Kasi madalian lang yun. Pag kumuha ko ng assessment na para makita ko, parang nag-IELTS na rin kayo, pero sumadugo yun, di ba? Kailangan ko lang ng bird's eye view. So, yung mga students ko nung first day, pinag-assess, nag-answer sila ng assessment online. Pinadala nila yung results personally sa WhatsApp ko. So, I'll be resending the link. And again, I'll ask you kung yung hindi pa gumawa ng essay at gumawa ng letter and send it to me by email. So again, I'll be resending that information or send me a message now on my WhatsApp number para alam ko na lang i-separate na ipadala ko sa'yo. Right? Yun?
Kasi, first day pa, wala akong idea dito sa
Padalan mo na lang ako ng separate na message on WhatsApp. Para ipadala ko na lang sa'yo separately. Para hindi maulit. Saka, i-forward mo sa akin yung email mo. And class pala, humihingi sa akin ng listahan yung admin, full name, and your mobile number. So, padala nyo na lang sa akin separately. Hindi pa ako gumagawa ng listahan eh. Masyadong busy. Ang dami ko pang hindi na-check na papers, na letters, na essays. Super. Thanks. So next, yung mga nag-sit in ngayon na sa class ko ng Friday class, we'll be having speaking exams with them and one-on-one session. Depends on the class, parang siguro, maraming time, hopefully maraming time. So mga 20 minutes or 30 minutes na one-on-one with the student. Yun ang schedule namin later. So, si AJ lang naman yata. Baka ito lang walang ginagawa, no? Oo. Yun. So after doon, diba, yung nagbigay ako ng schedule sa inyo class na first week, general information and assessment. Second week, listening. Third week, reading. Fourth week, writing. Fifth week, speaking. And the sixth week would be the final exam. Usually, kasi pag final exam, pag sa classroom, 3 hours yan. Sometimes, pwede naman na you do the exams on your own. So, ilaan ko na lang na one-on-one. Bibigay ako ng schedule sa inyo. Let's say 30 minutes each. 20 minutes to 30 minutes. And we can discuss one-on-one kung ano yung mga feel nyong pagkukulang nyo. Sasabihin ko rin kung ano yung pagkukulang nyo. Mga ganon. Ma'am, sa tingin nyo, anong schedule ko dapat? Mag-e-exam ako in 2 months, in 3 months. Ano yung i-cover ko? Kasi depende rin kung anong goals nyo eh. Diba? Tapos pinadala nyo lang sa akin yung assessment nyo. A1 kayo, B1, or C1. At least sasabihin ko, sige, ganito lang kayo. Textbook lang and more on, let's say, you work on your writing. Na ganyan. Depende rin sa skill. So, sa last session, mag-one-on-one tayo. Pero at least, for now, kailangan nyo i-cover yung textbook. Si Zagato? Anong pangalan mo, dear?
Jo Garcia po. Ano ko yan, email?
Z Garcia?
Garcia. Yeah.
Okay. Miss Garcia. Saan na ako? Nawala na ako. Saan na ako?
Tinanong niyo lang yung yung name.
Nagbigay ako ng mga textbook.
Yung one-on-one na every 30 minutes individual.
Nagbigay ako ng textbook sa mga classmates mo. So may recommendation ako na kailangan i-cover ng lahat yung nasa textbook, yung main textbook. So I need your email, that email address later. Send it to me. Ganyan. Doon kayo mag-focus. Kailangan yun. Lahat kayo. Kasi kailangan nyo i-sharpen yung skills na yun. Then again, with the vocabulary and the grammar. May mga sa inyo matataas na C1 or C2 level. I suggest work on your writing skills. Grammar. Or writing style, I mean. Kasi okay naman na kayo sa grammar. Okay naman na kayo sa... So, ganun yung pag-uusapan natin later sa one-on-one. Tapos sabihin ko na, halimbawa, kung one month na preparation. So, sabihin ko, okay, dapat at least per hour, ganito yung schedule nyo, gawa tayo ng lesson plan. Mga ganun. Ganun lang ang discussion natin. Okay? So, see you, alas 10 na. See you next Sunday again.
Yung next session.
Hindi. Yung class na to, hindi kayo pwede mag-sit-in sa nauna kong class kasi advance sila. Yung mga, later siguro, kung may IELTS ulit ako, yung class na to, pwede kayong mag-sit-in para, di ba, refresher lang. Yun ang maganda eh. Ma-refresh lang kayo. Paulit-ulit lang. Di ba? Ang maganda rin sa akin, sometimes pinapalitan ko yung, actually, dadagdagan ko ng something yung fan ko. Kasi nabuhusan ng anak ko yung laptop ko, kaya ang dami kong kailangan gawin. So, may bago na naman. So, yung mga dati kong mga previous students, sinasabi ko, try to sit in kasi usually I always have something new. Or I always give them new sources, mga ganyan, of information. Mga ganyan. So, I'll send the links na pinakita ko sa inyo later. So, WhatsApp and a copy of the PowerPoint. Okay? So, if you have any questions, PM. Just give away. Okay? Okay, see you next week.
Thank you po. Bye.
Next Sunday. Be
Ay,
safe,
later,
everybody. Good night.
picture taking tayo later ah. Tamad ako sa mga ganyan eh. Later na lang para Huwag na ngayon. Mga end of, pag maganda-ganda tayo.
Sige pa. Thank you, ma'am. Bye po.
Bye.